Hi guys, welcome to Diamond Delight Edibles. My name is Liz if this is the first time you stop by, and for the rest of you guys, welcome back. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all your support and everything. And because you guys are so awesome and subscribe to my channel, I'm able to reach out to companies and request things that they would like me to demonstrate and review their products. And well, lo and behold, they're saying yes. So today I'm going to be demonstrating for you the Butter Brewer. And this is a machine that you may not have heard of before because its your name is not really, you don't see it much out there. So that's one thing where I think the company lacks, is this name should be seen and being talked about a lot more than what it is. So the couple nice features with this machine is that it does do larger quantities than most machines. It does 1 to 8 cups, which is really nice. The method or the technology and what it uses is a gentle stir, and you can set your intervals and times of your stirring. You can customize that. I get more into the details about that. But it is a nice gentle stir, so you are not pulverizing your plant material, releasing a whole bunch of chlorophyll and the yucky stuff that makes your butter not taste so nice. So this is supposed to give you a much nicer, purer, cleaner infusion. So we'll find out. All right, so that's about really all I'm going to say about that. Let's jump right into our demonstration, and then you get to hear my overall results. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining. All right, guys, so you ready to check out this machine with me? So here is the machine itself. It is fairly large. However, it does do up to 8 cups, so it does need to be larger. And it does a minimum of 1 cup, which is nice. So it has great versatility, 1 to 8 cups. I like that. Comes with the blade. Now this is not a sharp blade. It is just a stirring blade. So it is not going to pulverize your plant material, releasing all that chlorophyll. Comes with a rubber spatula. Oops, stay. And it comes with a very large well, look at that. And it comes with a very large strainer bag, so you can see it's quite large. It's in comparison to the ones that you get with a lot of the other machines. You can vastly see. And the mesh on it also looks a lot finer. And then it also comes with the with a little instruction manual here that gives you all your basic instructions on how to use the machine, your machine function, default temperatures for your butter, oil, and glycerin, or sorry, tincture. And when they talk about tincture, they're talking about glycerin, not alcohol. And yes, you can use alcohol in this machine. I did check with the makers. However, if you do, please make sure that you are in you have a fan going in. It is very well ventilated. Okay, so but other than that, unfortunately, there are no recipes or anything in the book. I mean, it does give you your basic recipes for your oil, your butter, and your tincture. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of additional information available in the book or in anything else that it comes with. And that's everything that actually comes with the machine. Now, you can purchase additional bags of these and an additional stainless steel pot if you like. So again, if you do things on large quantity, might be something you want to consider. So you can decarb and have one cooling, decarb, or starting your other one, whatever. It's kind of nice having that option of having 2 pots. And for the machine itself, I'm going to bring the camera in here a little bit closer to have a closer look for it. All right, I hope it's going to come out clear in the video for you. Hope it's big enough. So here's your on and off button. You've got your temperature and your time button. Whether you want to do butter, tincture, oil, or DIY. So what's super nice about this is everything is customizable, even your mixing intervals and your mixing duration. So there are presets for your butter, your tincture, and your oil. You can adjust those up or down any way you want. You can also change your mixing and your mixing intervals and how long it will mix during your infusion. So you have 100% full customizing, which is really, really nice. And then these are your 2 buttons that you are for changing. So for example, if I wanted to select butter, it gives me a preset of 2 hours for the time, And for the temperature, it gives me a preset of 160. So if I wanted to change that temperature up, whatever, 5 degrees. Oh, I'm going down. So it goes up in 5-degree intervals, which I would kind of like to prefer to see individual increments, but 5s are not too bad. Anyway, so that goes that. And as well, if you want to change your temperature, or sorry, your time, if you want to make it longer, or shorter. Now, if you want, now the nice thing also is you can decarb and do your infusion in the same machine, which is really sweet. So for doing decarb, you select DIY, you would select your time and your temperature and your mixing duration and the intervals. But I'm going to show you exactly what that is because we're going to make a batch of butter. And then the lid, you've got the lid that comes up, pot that comes out. It's a stainless steel, sorry, this is a non-stick pot. The one that you can purchase additionally is a stainless steel. That sits in there, and then the blade, which I seem to have lost. Oh, there it is. And then your blade just slides in and twist. And there you go. Close up your machine. And the blade does sit really close to the bottom, which is nice. So you can easily do that 1 cup of butter without any problems. And then while your machine is in use, your handle should be to one side or the other because there is a steam outlet here, which is nice, so it lets out steam so that you don't have condensation building up inside your pot with the heat, releasing more chlorophyll. And then there is this little plastic thing back here which doesn't tell me in the instructions what it's for. But so I'm not exactly sure. I guess we'll find out. I'm guessing some kind of overfill or some kind of collecting thing for cleaning. And then for cleaning, these are hand wash, and the only thing that you can put into the dishwasher would be your silicone spatula and your bag. You can put those into the dishwasher. So that's everything there about the machine that I can think of here. Oh, and it also, so it's got the on and off, and it does also have your start and cancel button, so you can cancel if you've selected something wrong. There we go. Okay, so the first step that we're going to do is to decarb our material. So I am doing about 1.5 cups of butter. I've got 10 grams of my plant material, and here is about what it's going to equal out in milligrams, since you guys always ask. Here it is. I've got the tallies for you. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to break up your material, and you don't have to go crazy, but you do just want to break it up somewhat. So there we go. Goes in, close, DIY. So a standard decarbing is 240 at 40 minutes. However, in the instruction manual, it gives us a decarb suggestion of 235 for 30 minutes. So I'm actually going to go with that. The standard usually is 240 at 40 minutes, but that's in a large oven and all that other space. This is a smaller, plus you're going to have the blade that's going to be stirring it around, giving it a far more better heat distribution for our herbs for activating. So I am going to set this to DIY, which I think I said I did already. So we're going to temperature first. I'm going to go to 235. And my time, I'm going for 35 minutes. And the intervals, mix intervals. Let me just, quickly see what it says for that. I forgot. Mix duration of 1 minute and mix intervals set to 5 minutes. So, mix intervals, 5. And mix duration, 1. Okay, and then we hit start. So it's starting up here, and the blade is going round and round. I'm going to actually bring the camera so you can see it. So you can see the blade gently stirs it around. while it's doing its decarb. Alright, so while we're decarbing, I am going to clarify my butter. And what clarifying your butter is removing the milk fats, the lecithin, the salt, where can I get this? Alright, so while we're decarbing, I am going to clarify our butter. And why it's really important to do this step is for the following reasons. When you clarify your butter, you're removing all the milk fats and the impurities and the lecithin, etc., leaving yourself a pure butter oil. This is going to increase the THC absorption, as well as giving you a cleaner, nicer taste, and as well as it increases the smoke point of your butter. And what that means is it can go to a higher temperature. So it actually increases it by 100 degrees. So if you're not sure what that means, if you've ever taken a frying pan to make eggs, got a little hot, put the butter in, and it pretty much instantly burns, that's because butter has a very low smoke point. By clarifying it, you increase it by 100 degrees. Again, you're not going to burn your butter and things like that when you're cooking. So that's why it's important to take that step to do the clarifying. So what we do is you just put your butter, chop it up, put it into a pot, set your heat to medium-low, and you always want to do this on low, medium-low. You don't want it to boil. We just want it to simmer so it cooks the stuff off. You'll see. So I'm just going to let that sit there and stir every once in a while and just wait till that completely melts. And you're going to want a small strainer. If you don't have a small strainer, a larger one will do. Doesn't matter, as long as you have a strainer. And a bowl or something that you can throw out the excess, the icky stuff we're going to throw into the bowl over here. So my butter is just melting away here. Alright, so see, this is the color of our butter as it's all melted. It's like a solid, it's opaque. Is not a fancy word. So it's a little opaque. It's opaque. Oh my god. So it's opaque, and so what's going to happen now as it cooks on the heat, all of that stuff is going to rise up to the top, and we're going to skim that off as it does that. And I just gently stir. So you can just let it simmer for a few minutes. Check on it. Don't just walk away and forget about it. The whole process does take about 25 to 40 minutes, depending on how much butter you are clarifying. And so I said, we're just going to let this go for a couple of minutes, and then I'll show you about the skimming the icky stuff off. So as the stuff cooks off and rises to the top here, just take your strainer and scoop it off. Strain out your butter oil. That we can leave. And just scoop out the icky stuff. Alright, so what you can do is, once you take the initial icky stuff off, you can just let it go for about 25 to 30 minutes, but you want to come back and check it periodically. Just give it a little stir. If you get more buildup on the top, just scoop it off. But pretty much now it's just going to cook off those the milk solids and whatever else is in butter, the lecithin, etc. And we're going to be left with a completely clear butter oil. That's how you know it's done. Alright, once your butter oil now is completely clear, you'll still have a little bit of foamies on top here. Not a big deal. And there's going to be some milk fat stuck to the bottom of the pan. Again, not a big deal. You don't want to disturb those because that's the stuff coming up at the top here. So now we're just going to use our strainer and strain her off. Here we go. And so this is what's going to kind of be left on the bottom of your pan. Those are the milk solids. You don't want to make sure not to go too long because you're going to roast your butter, and you don't really want to do that unless you want ghee. And now look at our butter. Isn't that beautiful? Nice and clear. Ready to go. And our decarb is almost done. 5 minutes to go on that. Those of you who want to know if there is smell while activating, yes there is. So one thing that you can always do if smell is an issue for you, one thing, don't ever put them outside, especially machines like these, or any machine that has a temperature in it. Because if you put it outside and it's cold outside, what will happen is your machine will never get to proper temperature because it's going to be too cold, because they're automatic thermometers. So what happens is that will just continue to heat up, heat up, heat up, heat up. One, it's going to break your machine, as well it's going to burn your product, and nobody wants that. Second of all, so the easy way that you can cover up the smell if that is an issue for you, fry some bacon and onions. That will cover it up for a good couple of hours, no problem. All right, so we'll get this, I'll come back when this is done here in 4 minutes, and we'll cool her off, and then we'll make our infusion. All right, our decarbing is almost done. So once your cycle's done, it does give you a beep to let you know. And it's not a real annoying beep or goes on for any length of time. So now I'm going to lift my lid, and I'm going to just cover it up with tin foil. Now, the one thing I would have liked to have seen this come with is a lid. So while we're cooling, you'd have a lid for it, but not that big of a deal. For its price, you really can't, you can't have everything. Just carefully cut. Okay, so the inside pot is really hot, be careful. So I'm just gonna cover that up. I'm going to let that completely cool, because you should always let your decarb completely cool. And you can put it into the fridge to speed up the process. And once this is completely cool, I'll be back and we'll start our infusion. So see, the pot just easily slips out. Ba-ba, boom. All right, so my my herb is nice and cool. I'm gonna put the pot back in here. Add in my clarified butter. So I said I'm adding about 1.5 cups. You can do as little as 1 cup to a maximum of 8 cups. And for decarbing, you can decarb up to about 4 ounces. So that is quite a lot more than the other machines out there. All right, close the lid. All right, so my butter and everything's in there. I'm going to turn the machine on. I'm going to select butter. So the time that it has the preset for the butter is 2 hours. The temperature is set to 160. So again, if I wanted to adjust either of those, I can do that right now. And the mix duration, it's going to go for 1 minute each time. All right, so I'm going to stick with the presets to try that out, and I'm going to hit start. And noise-wise, there is virtually zero noise. Can you hear anything? No, that's nice. And so let's have a closer look so you can see what it's doing. I do apologize for the reflections and stuff. It's my kitchen. So you can see how it gently moves it around, just stirring so that the oil is just able to move nicely through your herbs and things and not extracting all that chlorophyll. So we should end up with a really nice, clean infusion. So one thing that it can't do, which would be nice to see maybe in a future model, is you cannot adjust the time and temperature once you've started your process. So if you decided you wanted to increase the temperature or to decrease it, you would have to stop it and start again and calculate your time or whatever. And you can easily just do that, but you can't change it whilst in process. All right, so we'll be back in just about 2 hours here, and we'll check out how our infusion comes out. Oh, and one thing. I know that pretty much all the recipes for doing butter, regardless of the machine that you use, or if you do it with crock pot or whatever, all say to put lecithin in whilst you're doing it. I, however, do not recommend doing that. And the reason is, lecithin, as we know, is an emulsifier which will bind your water to your oil. So one, if you're doing the crock pot method and you're using water, you're actually going to end up with a waterlogged a butter infusion there, because it is going to trap and hold on to some of that water. As well as in machines, again, as well as in machines, as they heat up, moisture, condensation builds up in moisture, and again, that can get trapped into your butter, and you don't really want that. So if you do want to use lecithin, I recommend putting it in after your infusion is done, and then using a hand blender to really emulsify it nicely. That way, like as I said, you're not going to be trapping in anything that you don't want to, mainly water. So our infusion is almost done. 1 minute to go. Okay, apparently not. So our infusion is done here. Ooh, looks good. Smells good. Okay, so what I just did here, just to make things easy, I took the bag, I used a strainer, set it on my bowl, and then set the bag into the strainer, so that way you've got something to hold on to while you're pouring. You actually pick up the handle would be helpful. Scoot her all out. And then what I just usually use is a potato masher, just to squish it out. There we have it. That is a nice looking infusion. Not that you can see it in the bowl, so I'm going to pour it into this cup here. And check this out. Look how nice that is. So as you can see, very little chlorophyll gets into your infusion. Smells really good. Again, no heavy plant or chlorophyll smell. All in all. So unfortunately, I said without having a test kit, I'm actually going to write to a couple of companies to see if maybe I can get some. Can we actually test the infusions to see which machine gives us the best infusion? But all in all, from what I can see here, it does a really beautiful job. It's really nice and clean. And again, the no chlorophyll, I always like that. And the chlorophyll, as I said, is that heavy flavor that most people don't like, and that kind of gives your edibles and things a taste. All right, guys. So here's my final review of the Butter Brewer. Overall, I would give this product definitely a thumbs up. Being able to do between 1 to 8 cups is great. There's really no other machine out there that can do large quantities. Also, being able to decarb up to 4 ounces is really nice too. Again, there's nothing out there that I know of that can decarb on that kind of amount. So anybody who does large infusions, this is definitely something you want to look at. The what I also do love is being able to adjust your time and temperatures, or being able to completely create your own recipe via your DIY there. By setting your mixing and your intervals, again, being fully customizable is wonderful. I love the infusion that it makes, pulls very little chlorophyll into your infusion, which is going to make a much nicer and tastier infusion, especially for your cooking. So the, oh, and actually in those for who do, and this would be really good machine for those who do make their own lotions and potions. One, because of the capacity size that you can do, as well as being able to customize those temperatures. So I know like your shea butter and cocoa butters, they require much lower temperatures, so you can customize that very easily. As well as the gentle stir is not going to damage or hurt any of your delicate type of things that may be in your infusions. So that is a really nice feature as well. About really the only negatives I have to say about the machine is once you do start your infusion, you can't adjust your times or temperatures or anything. You would have to stop it, make your adjustment, subtract your time, and then and just reset it. So it would be nice if you could adjust your times and temperatures, etc., during without it resetting. So, but the only other negative really is their lack of a presence on social media, on Google. The only way that I actually came across them was when I was originally researching different machines, etc., was I came across a video on YouTube. But when I went to try and further research it, there's very little information that'll come up. So again, and even the website, so it gives you all your basics, but there's no blog or journal. It would be really nice to see something like that so that you could have recipes up there, lots of different recipes, engaging on your customers as well as having them being able to submit recipes about how the recipes that they use with your machine. It'd be really nice to see there. So one thing to you guys, to the guys at Butter Brewer, honestly, invest in an SEO or whatever those people are that make you seen out there. You really got to get out there. Even after doing a search on Google, I would expect to see your ads or something in Facebook or Instagram like everything else. Isn't that a little scary? You do a search and then bam, there it is, over and over and over. but Butter Brewer doesn't come up. So guys, so you guys got to step up your social media, etc. You got to get this product seen because it really is a great product. Okay guys, so that's everything I've got for you today. If you have any questions or comments, as usual, you know where to put them. I really want to thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your day.